We back. We about to head to New York to hear about Zohran the moron. But they voted for it.
Policies are destroying the economy of New York City and will hurt the whole state. So I will have to keep them in check, and I will keep them in check. I know what to do. I've run a big organization. My county is larger than 8 states in population. I have 110,000 more Democrats in my county, and I win in a landslide. Zohran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul want to control you. They want to control how you spend your money. So I don't want that. I want you to be able to have the freedom to control how you want to spend your money.
Well, it did not take long for this giant communist carp to start stinking to the high heavens, now did it? New York gubernatorial candidate, you saw him there, Bruce Blakeman, talking about Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the communist carp I was referring to. The Wall Street Journal thinks that his honeymoon is over, dunzo. New polling shows the mayor's unfavorable rating above 40% for the first time. One of the reasons, surely, is not just the screw-ups like the pied-à-terre tax rollout, but rents. Manhattan rents hitting a new all-time high. I
thought he was there to make it affordable. That don't look affordable. He said he was going to make it affordable, and I'm like, they're going to turn around and blame his city policies. This ain't even state policies. This is city policies because he's a mayor of the city. So they're going to blame his city policies on Trump. Trump ain't asked him to do none of this. Trump ain't want him to do anything. Trump don't got nothing to do with what he talking about, the second home tax and rent freeze, and y'all screaming and yelling. Y'all hate rich people so much, but y'all don't understand how money work. And if rich people suffer, everybody suffers. This is just how it goes, regardless if you like it or not. If I heard somebody on the news the other day said we need to tax billionaires. What was the word he used? Tax them to oblivion or out of existence. Yeah, that's what he said. Tax billionaires to out of existence. But the billionaires are the ones with the jobs. If we don't have no more billionaires, then we don't have any more jobs. And it's not the government's responsibility to control corporations and delegate jobs. That's communism. Go out there and compete, man. Private sector, man. Compete. Nobody want to put their work in, man. Nobody want to sit there and do the long hours and start from the basement all the way to the penthouse. But they want to talk about and be mad at the people that do it. Most rich people did not get handed an empire. They built it. They most of them built it. It ain't that much stealing in the world because you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to prison. But let's get back into this.
average rent is $6,655 a month, according to a new report. That's up 10% from a year ago. And this is ahead of his rent freeze, right? And not to mention the pied-à-terre disaster that still hasn't even been implemented. But this is what socialist communist policies regarding real estate, this is what happens almost instantaneously with housing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to say, for the record, it was never a honeymoon for me. He got on the honeymoon train and was dancing. For me, I was just standing back and waiting for him to start imploding. And that's exactly what's happening here. Whether you're on the right or you're on the left, your policy speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. And everything that he promised is not working out the way he promised it would.
He a con artist, man. He trash. He's saying anything. He say things for shock value. He don't know. He never had a job. He never ran a business. He never ran anything. All he did was grow up privileged and spent money. He doesn't know what to do. other than talk. People that grow up people that grow up and never had responsibility and only been taken care of, they love to talk because that's all they do is talk. They don't have to work. They don't have to worry about things. All they do is sit around and talk. You had the best conversations with them because they have all the time in the world to just talk. And he talked himself right into that seat, and everybody with their jealousy and their envy and their hatred in their heart voted for him. Everybody is voting with jealousy, envy, and hatred in their heart. That's what's going on right now, and that's it. Like if you're gonna vote for somebody that says they're anti-American, anti-capitalism, and anti-rich, you got hate in your heart. You a hater. Simple. Get out your feelings and vote rational. You ain't giving nobody no job. So why you want to tax somebody out of existence who's supplying the jobs across the country, across the world?
With the free buses that never happened. Actually, the MTA had to hike fares. The rent stuff is a huge issue. Average rents being $6,655 a month is unaffordable. But why are they there? They're actually there, at least for one reason, in part because of Mr. Mamdani himself, because he is implementing all these rules and restrictions on the city's landlords, implementing rent freezes, and they're saying, we're not dancing at your party. We're just not going to put these units on the market. When you do that and the supply drops, then as long as people are still coming here and want to live here, the prices go up. So he has contributed to an affordability crisis that he came in telling people he was going to fix. The pied-à-terre issue, targeting people who didn't deserve to be targeted for that tax.
How is he going to fix anything when he never fixed anything in his life? He never fixed nothing in his life, never built nothing, never fixed nothing, never worked for anything, never created anything, never.
And putting a burden on them to prove their residency here when you take their taxpayer money every year, year after year, is egregious. I hope that will get squared away and settled in court. The grocery stores, his budgets are just, they don't make sense. He's going to spend all this money on one grocery store. We already know how that story is going to end. And so I think what the point here is that life is not binary. And most people in America, even living in New York City, understand that you don't have to be extreme right and you don't have to be extreme left. They want people who listen to them and actually hear them. And what Mr. Mamdani is showing everybody is actually that he's very tone deaf, that he wants to ram a socialist agenda up your throat, whether you like it or not. And those people who voted for him, I believe, are starting to realize that.
By the way, the enemies list that Mamdani put out the judge has put the
and then turned around and doxed all the rich people in New York City. And nobody saying nothing. Yo, why is everybody quiet when the Democrats do all this? They stealing the money, all the fraud, all the socialism, all this communism. They so quiet about open borders, men and women bathrooms, men playing in women's, but like they want to get rid of the presidency, the Senate, the Pentagon, borders, prisons, cops, like. Everybody just like not saying nothing, knowing that y'all don't want none of that. Scared to talk. Soft. You scared. Nobody actually in their right mind wants any of this stuff. Because if something happens, actually, when it knocks on your front door, you're going to call 911. You're conditioned. Regardless of what you talking and what you speaking, you're still conditioned for this way of life that we live. And it's beautiful.
Bosh on that for the time being. But the Department of Finance, so initially these letters went out to thousands of New Yorkers. They thought it was going to be the $5 million threshold. Wasn't. It's $1 million which is just a one-bedroom co-op or condominium.
Can I just say one thing about that? It's $1 million assessed value, which actually puts the property over the $1 million mark because the assessed values are really quite low.
Right. But the Department of Finance had already gotten the list down to about 17,000 targets. But it was then that Mamdani and his commie cronies put out the database publicly with hundreds of thousands of these names, and they knew that 95% of it was wrong, but they did it anyway.
Yeah.
Frighten people.
Yeah, well, that's fear is a arrow in the quiver, right, for socialists. And that's how you get elected, and sometimes that's how you stay elected when you can't keep your promises.
Right.
And that's what I'm worried about. The term honeymoon implies that at some point the love fades and you have to start to produce. And this is when it gets kind of scary for these kind of guys, because he has to now figure something out that's going to probably end up being more drastic. He's not going to retreat.
Right.
He's going to do something and find more, reasons why, this is happening and that's happening. The blame game is going to ratchet up even more. So all I can say is buckle up, New Yorkers, because this guy's not going to bring us together as a city. He's going to further divide us, and his policies are going to get even more desperate.
I'll just add.
He got a clean shape up. But if you want to finish the video, you know what to do. Zohran, I don't know why they voted for him. And I don't know why they trying to destroy America, destroy New York. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why people so crazy and out of whack. Like, I'm hoping it's a phase and we'll get through this, God willing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get through this. As a country, as a people, we're definitely going to get through this. But I love everybody who tunes in. Keep tuning in. I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going to keep putting more videos out. It's going to be ramping up. Primaries is coming. I'm going to do a couple of videos on the lunatics that just, one lunatic won in Minnesota, but the other lunatic lost in, I think, Wisconsin. Yeah. I'm going to come back. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't really be liking to talk about it because, a certain type of information and messaging I be wanting to put out. You can't just speak on everything because people are not going to take it the way you want them to take it. You could talk, you could explain. They're going to take it the way they want to take it. So certain things I be picking and choosing. I cherry pick. I definitely cherry pick. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I do it for y'all, and I'm going to keep coming back, and I appreciate everybody who tunes in. I'm out.